ৰেমুটত কেন্দ্ৰীয় বিত্তমন্ত্ৰী নিৰ্মলা সীতাৰমণে পুনৰ সংবোধন কৰিছে এক সংবাদমেল আগবঢ়াইছো সংবাদমেলৰ সম্প্ৰচাৰ। ক্ৰমাগতভাৱে তৃতীয় দিনৰ বাবে আজি সংবাদমেল সম্বোধন কৰিছে কেন্দ্ৰীয় বিত্তমন্ত্ৰী নিৰ্মলা সীতাৰমণে। ইতিমধ্যে প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰীয়ে ঘোষণা কৰা আৰ্থিক পেকেজ সন্দৰ্ভত বিস্তৃত বিশ্লেষণ দাঙি ধৰিছে এই সংবাদমেলত মন্ত্ৰীগৰাকীয়ে।
I'll draw your attention to the speech given on the 12th by the Honorable Prime Minister, who, referring to Atmanirbhar Bharat, had spoken about supply chain reforms and how technology-driven systems should work, and also how the demography will have to benefit from it. So deriving from all this, today the third tranche of announcements which are being made is focusing on agriculture and allied activities: agriculture, fisheries, dairy, animal husbandry, and allied activities. So which will also have some aspects of food processing and so on. See, the largest proportion of Indian population is dependent on agriculture even now. And of all those who are dependent on agriculture, nearly 85% of the operational holdings are held by small and medium-sized farmers, small and actually marginal farmers. That is also referred to in the economic survey of 2020. However, it always goes to the credit of the Indian farmers who, against all adversities, be it of the monsoon or sometimes unwanted drought or some crop pestilence, in spite of all that, Indian farmer has always stood up to the challenge, endured a lot, and made India reach certain global benchmarks. Very quickly, I'll tell you, you are aware that India is the largest milk producer, largest jute producer, largest pulses producer, dals, variety of dals. It's also the second largest in global numbers, second largest in the production of sugarcane, in the production of cotton, groundnut, fruits, vegetables, and also in fisheries. India is also third globally placed in the production of cereals. So really, Indian farmers have really endured but made sure that his holdings may be small, but he would give us the highest yield. So today, we want to show you some of the slides also. Very quickly, without spending much time, I'll tell you what kind of support systems that we had established during the lockdown period, so that, as you are aware, keeping all the respects for social distancing and also ensuring all kinds of preventive measures are taken during the lockdown. It goes to the credit of our workers in the fields, our farmers, the peasants and the marginal farm landholders, that they almost concluded the Rabi crop harvest. And also many of the states have been successful in somehow pushing ahead with due procurement process. The crops have been largely procured in the wheat and the rice growing areas. The process is ongoing, but it goes to the credit of our rural population. So today, therefore, I'll also be showing you a slide a bit later on what we have done in the last 2 months to make sure that agriculture work was supported during the lockdown. Just the 2-month story. But otherwise, post that, I'd like to highlight what are we announcing today for supporting agriculture and allied activities. I'll be announcing 11 measures, and from among them, 8 of them relate to strengthening infrastructures, strengthening capacities, building better logistics, and so on. So 8 of the 11 relate to such things where government allocates money, activities will be undertaken in such a way that very quickly we can ramp up on storage capacities, logistics and so on. The rest 3 today of the 11 will pertain to governance and administrative reforms. So that's the picture I'd like to put before you. But before we go to the slides, in Hindi.
नमस्कार। आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने 20 लाख करोड़ का जो पैकेज दिया है, उसके ही आज तीसरे दिन की मीडिया ब्रीफिंग में हम आपके सामने उपस्थित हैं और आज कृषि के ऊपर ज़्यादा बात करेंगे। कृषि अगर किसान केंद्रित नहीं होगी, किसान कल्याण के लिए नहीं होगी, तो मुझे लगता है अधूरा रह जाता है। शायद यही कारण है कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने इसका नाम भी कृषि किसान कल्याण मंत्रालय जैसा रखा था। तो किसानों के कल्याण के लिए लगातार पिछले 5-6 वर्षों में कदम उठाए गए, चाहे वो पीएम किसान योजना है कि साल में 6,000 रुपया किसानों के खाते में सीधा जाएगा, करोड़ों किसानों का आज सीधा उसका लाभ मिलता है। प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना, बाढ़ सूखे के समय उनको भरपाई होना, सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड बनाकर उनकी जमीन के बारे में बताना, ये बहुत सारे कदम पूर्व में उठाए गए। और पिछले कल भी जब हमने प्रवासी मजदूर उनकी समस्याओं को लेकर बहुत सारे मोदी सरकार की ओर से उनके लिए कदम उठाए, तो उसमें 2 बातें हमने फार्मर्स के लिए भी, किसानों के लिए भी कही थी। और उसमें 30,000 करोड़ रुपए की जो अतिरिक्त इमरजेंसी वर्किंग कैपिटल कार्यशील पूंजी की हमने बात कही, ये 90,000 करोड़ के अलावा थी, जो किसानों के लिए नाबार्ड के माध्यम से लगभग 3 करोड़ परिवारों को इसका लाभ मिलेगा। और 2 लाख क्रेडिट कार्ड बनाकर उनको लगभग 2 लाख करोड़ का जो हमने लाभ देना था 2.5 करोड़ किसानों को, उसकी विशेष मुहिम चलाई जाएगी। ये पिछले कल हमने आपके सामने रखा था। आज कुछ और कदम उस दिशा में हम उठाने वाले हैं, जिसके 11 बिंदु होंगे, उसकी जानकारी अब हम आपको देंगे।
About yesterday's announcement, I think the slide has got enough to give you. I'll straight go over to covering today's announcements, but linkage with the 2 steps that I had announced yesterday for the agriculture, for the farmers' welfare, for the additional emergency working capital requirements through NABARD, which we would be infusing, and also to make sure that 2 lakh crore credit will be available under the Kisan credit card. Those were particular references to yesterday. Now we move over to today's, where we are coming up with, oh yes, sorry, before I go to that, in the last 2 months, very quickly, a number of measures have been taken to support farmers. Particularly additional steps that we had taken where the minimum support price purchases to an extent of 74,300 crores had taken place during the lockdown. 74,300 crores of purchases based on minimum support price happened during the lockdown, and also 18,700 crores have been transferred to the accounts of farmers directly into their accounts under the scheme PM Kisan Samman, and that is only during the 2 months. And then Fasal Bima Yojana claim payments have been cleared to the extent of 6,400 crores in the last 2 months. Bima Yojana claims, when a farmer wants to utilize and ask for the claim so that he gets the insurance money in his name, such claims totaling 6,400 crores have been cleared in the last 2 months. We now move to the steps that I want to announce today. There's additional steps also for the animal husbandry, which is worth recalling. Sorry about this. It's absolutely important to know that during the lockdown, all of you all would have been reporting also, media, that milk was being produced, and the usual restaurants and the hotels and the consumers were all under lockdown. So a lot of dairy industry people were put to severe difficulties. The milk was being thrown on streets saying our consumers are all locked down, they can't buy it from us. So during that period, 560 lakh per day of liters of milk, 560 lakh liters of milk were procured by cooperatives against the daily sale of 360 lakh liters which is produced per day. Now those were also utilized for a further amount of a further 111 crore liters have also been extra procured over and above the usual quantities which come to the market. 4,100 crores have been paid on that account. So money goes to the hands of the milk producing farmers or dairy keepers. A new scheme also was utilized for interest subvention of about 2% per annum for dairy cooperatives. Additionally, 2% per annum of interest subvention also was provided to incentivize prompt payment, repayment and interest servicing. So, and this scheme is further to be continued, and this is expected to unlock 5,000 crores of additional liquidity benefiting 2 crore farmers. So this is something which was triggered during the lockdown so that farmers get the money in their hands. This is the impact which I'd like to draw your attention to.
कोविड-19 के दौरान पिछले 2 महीनों में बहुत सारे कदम किसानों के हित में उठाए गए और न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य देने के लिए लगभग 74,300 करोड़ रुपया खर्च किया गया, जो सीधा किसानों को गया है उनकी खरीद करने के लिए उत्पाद की। और इसके अलावा जो पीएम किसान योजना है उसके अंतर्गत 18,700 करोड़ रुपया पिछले 2 महीनों में किसानों के खाते में सीधा डाला गया है। फसल बीमा योजना के माध्यम से भी जो उनके क्लेम्स मिलने थे वो 6,400 करोड़ रुपए के क्लेम किसानों को मिले हैं। और यही नहीं, पशुपालन एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है किसान की जिंदगी का, एक अतिरिक्त आय का साधन बनने के लिए, लेकिन कम हुई और 360 लाख लीटर दूध जो प्रतिदिन पहले वो खरीदते थे उसकी बजाय 560 लाख लीटर प्रतिदिन उन्होंने दूध खरीदा है, जिसके चलते कुल मिलाकर 5,000 करोड़ रुपए की एडिशनल लिक्विडिटी की जो मदद है वो 2 करोड़ किसानों को इस योजना के माध्यम से की गई। और कुल मिलाकर 2% जो है वो ब्याज अनुदान उनको दिया गया, और जिन्होंने जल्द पेमेंट की, प्रॉम्प्ट पेमेंट की है या इंटरेस्ट सर्विस समय पर किया है, उनको अतिरिक्त ब्याज अनुदान 2% और दिया गया है। तो कुल मिलाकर 2 करोड़ किसानों को 5,000 करोड़ रुपए का लाभ इसमें हुआ, उनको भुगतान हुआ है, और कुल मिलाकर 111 करोड़ लीटर एक्स्ट्रा प्रोक्योरमेंट इसमें हुई, जो लगभग 4100 करोड़ रुपए की है।
Again, for the last 2 months, just to give you the assurance that extended for these related activities, because many of them had overseas contracts in getting the brood stock or in getting some of the consignments which were coming from abroad. All the deadline extensions have been honored. The validity for SIPs, sanitary import permits for import of shrimp brood stock, was extended by 3 months. We have also condoned the delay of 1 month in the arrival of brood stock consignments, and for all the quarantine cubicles which were booked, but because of the delays, they were going to have to forfeit the monies that they paid. We allowed rebooking at no extra or additional charge. All this has been respected, and also the verification of the documents for grant of NOC for quarantining has also been relaxed from 7 days to 3 days. So very many measures which will help shrimp farmers, marine farmers and also coastal farmers, which were given the kind of extension because of the lockdown, have all been extended duly, and help and assistance have been extended as promised. So I want to underline the fact that registration of 242 registered shrimp hatcheries and also rearing hatcheries were expiring on 31st March. They have been extended by another 3 months without any additional burden on them. So such operations also of the marine capture fisheries and aquaculture have also been relaxed to cover inland fisheries and hatcheries.
पिछले 2 महीनों में 242 नई श्रिम्प हैचरीज को रजिस्ट्रेशन दी गई और जो रेयरिंग हैचरीज जिनकी एक्सपायरी 31 मार्च को हो रही थी उसको 3 महीने की एक्सटेंशन दे दी गई है और बाकी ऑपरेशंस भी मरीन कैप्चरिंग के लिए जो थे उनको और एक्वाकल्चर के लिए जो रिलैक्सेशन देनी थी वो भी दी गई और जो 4 घोषणाएं हमने इनको लेकर पहले की थी उनको भी लागू कर दिया गया है मत्स्य पालन को लेकर.
I go to today's announcements, the third tranche covering agriculture. First 8 steps are towards money is going for infrastructure capacity building, and from among the 8, so the first one is we provide 1 lakh crore for aggregators, FPOs, primary agriculture cooperative societies, farmer producer organizations which I mentioned, FPOs, all for strengthening the farm gate infrastructure. Farm gate infrastructure are cold chains, post-harvest management infrastructure, storage centers, yards from where they have to do it. So this fund for 1 lakh crore is being created. Here private entrepreneurs, agricultural entrepreneurs, startups, all of whom are now looking at facilitating by procuring from the farmers and reaching out with value addition to the global markets, don't have the infrastructure. So this fund for 1 lakh crore will immediately address that issue, and that fund will be created at the earliest.
हमारा किसान बाढ़ हो, बारिश हो, तूफान हो, आंधी हो, अपना पसीना बहाकर 137 करोड़ भारतीयों का पेट तो भरता ही है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ एक्सपोर्ट करने में मदद करता है. लेकिन भंडारण की कमियां होने के कारण कई बार और मूल्य संवर्धन के अवसर न होने के कारण कमी रह जाती थी. उस कमी को पूरा करने के लिए 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का कृषि आधारभूत ढांचा बनाने के लिए ये योजना लाई गई है, जिसमें चाहे कोल्ड चेन हो या फसल कटाई के बाद प्रबंधन करने के लिए जो भी सुविधाएं वैल्यू चेन के लिए बनानी हो वो उसमें बनाई जाएंगी और इससे लाभ मिलेगा मूल्य संवर्धन के लिए भी, भंडारण की क्षमता बढ़ाने के लिए भी, और कुल मिलाकर किसान की आय को भी इसमें बढ़ोतरी मिलेगी और भारत न केवल अपनी मांग को पूरी कर पाएगा, एक्सपोर्ट करने में भी इसकी आने वाले समय में बहुत मदद मिलेगी. और ये जो है इसका जो लाभ होगा वो प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज हो, फार्मर प्रोड्यूस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हो जो किसान उत्पादक संघ हैं, या कृषि उद्यमी हो, स्टार्टअप्स हो, एग्रीगेटर्स हो जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कृषि के क्षेत्र में लाते हैं. ये सब इनके माध्यम से आधारभूत ढांचा कृषि के क्षेत्र में उनके फार्म गेट पर खड़ा किया जाएगा ताकि इन सुविधाओं का लाभ मिल सके और इस फंड को जल्दी क्रिएट करके शुरुआत की जाएगी.
The next of the 8 steps towards capacity building, logistics and so on is for food enterprises who are micro in size. We shall be providing a fund of 10,000 crores. It's a scheme which will get products of global standards, and therefore marketing them globally will also be assisted through this fund. Most of the products that we are aiming to deal with in this scheme will be related to health and wellness products, nutritional products, herbal products, organic products, and products which are now being used as alternatives for a healthy living. So this we expect will benefit 2 lakh MFEs, micro food enterprises. 2 lakh of them will benefit by bringing them up to that level, modernizing their production techniques, giving them capacities, branding their produce and so on. But because it's going to be cluster based, I would want to broadly give you a picture of what we are aiming at. Let us say if it is Bihar, makhana is considered to be one of the very nutritious food without any calorie concerns. One can always use it as a snack. And therefore in Bihar the cluster would aim at makhana cluster. Kashmir would aim at Kesar saffron cluster. Karnataka can have ragi and coarse grains, which is today considered to be the most healthiest alternative for gluten-rich wheat and rice. So the northeast will have bamboo shoots and organic fruits. Telangana can have turmeric. We are only suggesting this because turmeric latte is a big thing outside. Milk made out of whipping cream and turmeric. So turmeric is rich in this country. There can be clusters formed. And Andhra can do chilies. Tamil Nadu can do tapioca, sago and whole lot of other things. I'm just giving examples. So the cluster based is going to focus on those organic and herbal materials or nutritional and health conscious wellness related food items in which India has a great strength. So this particular micro-fund enterprises, which will have 10,000 crores given by the government, will aim at branding and promoting such clusters. The focus will be on women, focus will be on SC and STs, focus also, where possible, will be on aspirational districts. I forgot to add the states and the products. One Sampada, states which are rich in forestry produce, minor forestry produce, we can also have a cluster which will also benefit them.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लोकल के लिए वोकल और लोकल से ग्लोबल, ये अपने आत्मनिर्भर भारत के पूरे उस दिन के संबोधन में देश के सामने बात रखी। और उसी दिशा में एक और ये बड़ा कदम है कि किस तरह से असंगठित क्षेत्र के हमारे जो सूक्ष्म खाद्य संस्करण इकाइयां हैं उनको संगठित किया जा सके, उनकी टेक्नोलॉजी अपग्रेडेशन की जा सके, तकनीकी उनको जानकारी दी जा सके, ब्रांड बनाने में, मार्केटिंग करने में उनको लाभ मिल सके। और इसी कार्य के लिए सूक्ष्म खाद्य संस्करण इकाइयों के लिए 10,000 करोड़ रुपए की योजना हम ये लेकर आए हैं, जो क्लस्टर बेस्ड अप्रोच होगी। लगभग 2 लाख ऐसी सूक्ष्म खाद्य संस्करण इकाइयों को इससे लाभ मिलेगा। जब 2 लाख को मिलेगा तो समझ लीजिए लाखों लोग जिससे जुड़े उनको भी रोजगार स्वरोजगार के अवसर मिलेंगे और आय के साधन भी बढ़ेंगे। तो किसानों के लिए एक बड़ी बात यह होगी। क्लस्टर बेस्ड पे हमने इसलिए कहा कि मान लीजिए कश्मीर में केसर है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में बैम्बू शूट्स हैं, आंध्रा में चिल्ली है, उत्तर प्रदेश का आम है, तमिलनाडु का टर्मिक है, ऐसे बिहार का मखाना हो। तो इस सब बातों को लेकर, यानी कि सभी राज्यों को तो आज नहीं कह सकते, लेकिन हर जगह जहां जहां जो क्लस्टर अप्रोच बनाई जा सकती है, इसके माध्यम से इनकी टेक्नोलॉजी अपग्रेडेशन भी होगी, मार्केटिंग ब्रांडिंग भी होगी, आय के साधन भी बढ़ेंगे। उस दिशा में बढ़ने के लिए 10,000 करोड़ रुपया इसके लिए प्रावधान किया गया।
I go to the third of the 8, which is looking at logistics capacity and other provision of facilities for under the Matsya Sampada Yojana, which was announced during the budget. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana was announced during the budget, but clearly the amounts and the provisioning and also making sure that critical gaps are getting filled are all now getting through, and we are announcing it for execution immediately. What this would mean is for activities related to marine, inland fisheries and also aquaculture, this money would be provided. We expect it will give employment for about 55 lakhs of people, and it will help in doubling India's export to reach 1 lakh crores. We also hope that this will bring in better standards in traceability, laboratory networks will be provided, fishing vessels, new fishing vessels can be given for fishermen and so on, new fishing harbors can also be built, and during the ban period, in the sense not the COVID ban period, but every year fishermen don't go to the sea during a certain period. At that during that period also they can get some kind of assistance. So personal boat and insurance for boats, both personal and also both can be insured, insurance will be provided. So this we expect will lead to additional fish production of about 70 lakh tons over the next 5 years. Now everywhere, as I go on, I've done about 3, now I'll go to 4th, 5th and so on. Everywhere, the underlying principle is to empower people, give them resources so that they can produce for themselves and have a livelihood for themselves, rather than go only on entitlements. Where entitlements are due, yes, they will be given. But largely, our focus is making sure India stands up on its own, India is able to be helped to stand up on its own, in turn generate more jobs and so on. So you find a lot more giving of empowering people through creation of skills, creation of logistics and so on.
पिछले कल जब हमने 2.5 करोड़ किसानों के लिए किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड के माध्यम से 2 लाख करोड़ रुपया देने की बात कही थी, तो उसमें मछुआरे और पशुपालकों की बात भी कही थी। उसी दिशा में आज एक और बड़ा कदम है, प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य संपदा योजना। इसके माध्यम से इसके लिए हमने 20,000 करोड़ रुपए का ये योजना लेकर आए हैं और इसमें जो कमियां थी पूरी वैल्यू चेन में उसको पूरा करने का एक प्रयास है, ताकि हमारे मछुआरे भाई बहन इनको समुद्री और अंतर्देशीय मत्स्य पालन में इनका सम्मिलित विकास हो सके और उसको बल मिले। 11,000 करोड़ रुपया इसके लिए समुद्री और अंतर्देशीय मत्स्य पालन के लिए, एक्वाकल्चर की गतिविधियों के लिए मिलेगा और 9,000 करोड़ रुपया इसके आधारभूत ढांचे के विकास के लिए, चाहे वो फिशिंग हार्बर हो, कोल्ड चेन हो, मार्केटिंग की सुविधा हो, मंडियों की बात हो, इस सब के लिए उनको 9,000 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान किया जाएगा। और इससे हमारी जो फिश प्रोडक्शन है, मछली का उत्पादन है, वो भी अतिरिक्त मछली उत्पादन जो होगा वो 70 लाख टन अगले 5 वर्षों में होगा। 55 लाख लोगों को इससे रोजगार मिल पाएगा और 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का एक्सपोर्ट होगा, जो लगभग दुगना हो जाएगा। तो आप कल्पना कीजिए कि आने वाले वर्षों में कितना लाभ रोजगार और एक्सपोर्ट यानी कि निर्यात के लिए भी इस योजना के माध्यम से मिलेगा।
We move next to the 4th item of the 8 which I propose to put before you. This is very much just to refer to what from January 20, Pradhan Mantri ji has been looking at the foot and mouth disease of animals. Many of our animals, because they have not been vaccinated, suffered from this foot and mouth disease, as a result of which many of our milk related producers or dairy or even animals which get infected could not be coming over to the markets. So farmers or animal keepers had a lot of suffering. So in order that we ensure 100% vaccination of all cattle, all buffalo, all sheep, all goat and pig population, nearly 53 crore animals. India is one of the largest livestock bearing country, and therefore for a country of that size with one of the largest stock of animal with us, FMD has to be eradicated. Therefore, till date, beginning January, in spite of the lockdown difficulties, 1.5 crore cows and buffaloes have been tagged and they have been vaccinated. So traceability can be established. Why am I saying this? This had a commitment of over 13,000 crores from January of this year. That amount is also flowing, and now post the lockdown, in the green zones at least, this work shall continue with great speed. This forms the basis for my next slide, which pertains to animal husbandry and the money which is being allowed for that building of capacities in animal husbandry.
देखा जाए तो दुनिया भर में भारत में सबसे ज़्यादा पशुधन वाले देशों में से एक हैं हम, और गाय हो, भैंस हो, भेड़, बकरी, सुअर हो, ऐसे 53 करोड़ जो पशुओं का, जो एनिमल्स की बात करते हैं, उनके लिए टीकाकरण करने की योजना हम लेकर आए हैं, जिसके ऊपर लगभग 13,343 करोड़ रुपया खर्च होगा। और जो आम भाषा में कहा जाता है कि मुंह पका खुर पका रोग मुक्त हम इनको करेंगे। मुंह पका खुर पका रोग मुक्त हम इनको करेंगे, ऐसे 53 करोड़ पशुओं को इससे निजात मिलेगी। 13,343 करोड़ रुपया इसके ऊपर खर्च होगा। ये फुट एंड माउथ डिसीज से उनको मुक्ति मिलेगी। इससे हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स की अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर भी और मांग बढ़ेगी और स्वीकार्यता बढ़ेगी, और इससे हमारे दूध उत्पादन में उसमें भी बढ़ोतरी होगी और पशुओं को भी एक अच्छा जीवन जीने का अवसर मिलेगा।
And if we have created such healthy vaccinated animals whose traceability is high, and we ensure that the ground is very well laid, animal husbandry, particularly dairy sector, can now really take the advantage of this kind of a activity which Government of India has done. Therefore, 15,000 crores will be spent for dairy infrastructure. This will help, and we also hope that many private investments can also come into this area, because it has great potential for export, great potential within India for the market. Various items, whether it is milk or powdered milk or butter, ghee, or even any cheese varieties which we need for domestic or for international consumption, are all possible. So we aim to support private investment also in dairy processing, value addition, and also for cattle feed infrastructure. Cattle feed is a potential area not just for India. Export of cattle feed also has a lot of scope. And therefore, Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund of 15,000 crores is being established, and that can work as as an incentive. We can also give incentives for establishing of plants, industrial plants for export of niche products, like the way I said, cheese or processed milk or milk powder or cream. Such units will have to be established which are scientifically done, and standards can be established. So Government of India will also give incentives for such plants which will get established in India, where you have healthy animals, vaccinated animals, good milk being available. So dairy industry.
पशुपालन में भी देश के किसान पीछे नहीं रहे, लेकिन आधारभूत ढांचा वहां पर भी सुधरे, और इसीलिए पशुपालन सेक्टर में बुनियादी ढांचा के लिए ये विकास फंड बनाया गया है, जिसको एनिमल हस्बेंड्री इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट फंड कहा गया। 15,000 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान इसमें किया गया है, ताकि जो दूध उत्पादन होता है उसकी प्रोसेसिंग करने के लिए इंडस्ट्री लग सके, मूल्य संवर्धन उसमें हो सके, वैल्यू एडिशन हो सके, और जो पशु चारे के लिए प्लांट्स हैं, कैटल फीड प्लांट्स हैं, वो भी बन सके, उसका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी खड़ा हो सके, ना केवल अपनी आपूर्ति के लिए, स्थानीय मार्केट के लिए, बल्कि एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए भी इसमें बहुत अवसर मिलेंगे। इसके लिए 15,000 करोड़ रुपए का फंड ये पशुपालन सेक्टर के बुनियादी ढांचे के लिए दिया गया है।
I move from here to the sixth point of the 8. Promotion of herbal cultivation. There is a National Medicinal Plants Board. 4,000 crores of rupees is getting allocated for this purpose. This board has already supported 2.25 lakh hectares of area under cultivation for medicinal plants. We think greater 10 lakh, up to 10 lakh hectares will also be brought in for herbal cultivation in the next 2 years, with an additional outlay of with an outlay of 4,000 crore, which is what I'm announcing now. And this will help generate at least 5,000 crores of income for those farmers who are engaged in this cultivation. Additional extents are also being expected to be brought in. But more importantly, we again refer to a speech by the Honorable Prime Minister, where he had said, on both the banks of the river Ganga, there can be herbal and medicinal plants grown, so that it can benefit the local farmers. And these medicinal and herbal plants are now in great demand globally also. So this board will undertake about 800 hectares of area, which will form a corridor along both the sides of river Ganga for growing of herbal and medicinal plants.
हर्बल कल्टीवेशन की प्रमोशन के लिए लगभग 4,000 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान इस प्रोजेक्ट के माध्यम से किया जाएगा और 10 लाख हेक्टेयर में इसकी खेती हो पाएगी, इसकी कल्टीवेशन होगी। 10 लाख हेक्टेयर लगभग 25 लाख एकड़ के बराबर है और इससे 5,000 करोड़ रुपए की आय किसानों की होगी। और यही नहीं, जन औषधि का बहुत महत्व भी है और कहीं ना कहीं मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स ने इस कोविड-19 के समय में दिखाया है कि कैसे हमारे ट्रेडिशनल ये मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स आज भी बहुत काम सबके आए हैं। तो इसमें और जितनी आगे बढ़ने का अवसर मिलेगा उसका लाभ होगा। रीजनल मंडीज भी, इसके लिए उसका नेटवर्क तैयार किया जाएगा और गंगा के किनारे भी ऐसे हजारों एकड़ में इसको प्लांटेशन की ड्राइव भी चलाई जाएगी।
I move to the seventh of the 8 items which I want to speak about today. This is a small matter but of great eco significance, and it's going to help in agriculture in the future also. As it is in the Western world, we hear a lot of people speak how the disappearing population of the bee, the honey bee, has led to crops now suffering for want of pollination agents. So cross-pollination, which happens through bees, don't happen that much like before. As a result, beekeeping is an initiative which is recognized globally. It is an amount, but it is not a very big amount when you're comparing several lakhs of crores, but it is an amount which is important, that can be at a level of absorption capacity also. 500 crores for beekeeping initiatives, which will benefit 2 lakh beekeepers in the rural areas, and who can then produce ghee. Also, importantly, I'd like to draw your attention, in India today, wax for all purposes, edible, medicinal purposes, are being imported. Even that import of wax can be stopped. It may not be a big item like crude oil, but it is certainly important that the country will have to have its pollination agents, as much as give jobs for the rural women and beekeepers of both the genders, but also look at the way in which imports increase even due to wax. It's a small reference that I'm making, but it is an initiative which will have a ripple effect on the rural economy, and therefore government will implement a scheme for this, which will include marketing, which will include value addition, which will include post-harvest facilities for the beekeepers.
मधुमक्खी पालन को बढ़ावा देने के लिए 500 करोड़ रुपए की ये योजना लेकर आए हैं और इसके माध्यम से 2 लाख से ज्यादा मधुमक्खी पालकों को उनकी आय में वृद्धि होगी और उपभोक्ताओं को बेहतर शहद भी मिलेगा। और यही नहीं, इसके माध्यम से ग्रामीण क्षेत्र के लिए कृषि आधारित जो मधुमक्खी पालन, ये उनका आय का एक अतिरिक्त साधन भी होगा। जो हमारे किसान हैं उनके लिए भी एक अवसर है। लोकल से ग्लोबल, उस दिशा में भी इसका एक बहुत बड़ा कदम हो सकता है कि ना केवल लोकल मार्केट के लिए, इसको निर्यात के लिए भी एक बड़े अवसर के रूप में देखा जा सकता है।
I move on to the next, the last in this list of 8. From top to total is what I want to refer to. This also is an existing scheme which gets additional 500 crores. Many of the supply chains have been disrupted for the farmers, particularly during the lockdown. Operation Greens is a scheme which is running at the moment to take care of tomatoes, onions and potatoes which are being cultivated, which come to feed the cities, and they've had very serious implication because they are perishable and they had to have distress sales. So farm level support needs to be given, otherwise such distress cannot be prevented. So the scheme features are such that they get 50% subsidy on transportation. They get also 50% subsidy for storage. This is a pilot which we extend for the next 6 months. it will be expanded and also be extended once the pilot phase is cleared. But this is something which has been given an accent now post the lockdown, because during the lockdown vegetables were perishing, cities were wanting to have it, logistics affected, so there was a break in this value chain.
टॉप टू टोटल योजना में 500 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान किया गया है। ये पहले अगर देखा जाए तो टमाटो, ऑनियन और पोटैटोज के लिए दी जाती थी कि आपके लिए टमाटर, प्याज, आलू इनके लिए प्रावधान था, लेकिन अब इसको बाकी सबके लिए भी संकट की घड़ी में जब कोविड-19 के समय इसको 6 महीने के लिए एक पायलट के रूप में देखा जाएगा और इसकी सफलता को देखकर इसको आगे और बढ़ाया जा सकता है। यही नहीं, इससे बल ये मिलेगा कि जो खाद्य पदार्थ नष्ट हो जाते थे, खरीदे नहीं जाते थे या किसान को दबाव में आकर कम मूल्य पर बेचने पड़ते थे, तो उसकी कमाई भी उससे कम होती थी और नुकसान भी होता था। अब इससे किसान को लाभ मिलेगा और न केवल इसको टमाटर, प्याज और आलू तक सीमित रखा गया है, बाकियों को भी, इसको बाकी फल और सब्जियों को भी इसके अंतर्गत लाया गया है। इसमें 50% सब्सिडी जो है वो माल भाड़े पर यानी कि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन पर दी जाएगी और 50% सब्सिडी जो है वो स्टोरेज, अगर भंडारण करना होगा तो उसके लिए, इंक्लूडिंग कोल्ड स्टोरेज, यानी कि कोल्ड स्टोरेज में भी रखना होगा तो उसके लिए 50% सब्सिडी इसमें दी जाएगी ताकि वो अच्छे दाम पर समय आने पर बेच सके।
I move over to speaking about the governance and administrative reform related matters now. There are 3 of them, and I go to the first one, which relates to Essential Commodities Act. The Essential Commodities Act is an act which exists from 1955. This is an act which is very important, especially when it was promulgated during those days where food shortages were common. Indian farmers were trying to produce but not adequately because of the agricultural impetus which was needed was just then beginning to be given. But however, when in 1955 it was passed, and subsequently also we had lived in days of shortages. Now what is happening is farmers are producing, there's abundance of crop. This abundance of crop sometimes also leads to issues because they would want to export. We don't permit them to export because we want to be sure that India prices don't go up. And because of the flip-flop, sometimes farmers don't get the benefit, some other times the consumers suffer. So this Essential Commodities Act requires an amendment. And that amendment will largely be towards making sure that cereals, edible oils, oilseeds, pulses, onions and potatoes will be completely deregulated. And therefore, unless there's an extraordinary situation, there will not be a requirement to invoke this Essential Commodities Act. Stock limits to be imposed will be imposed only under exceptional circumstances such as national calamities or famine, or if there is a huge surge in prices. Otherwise, there is no need for invoking it. So to that extent, limited to that extent, we would like to amend the Essential Commodities Act. No such stock limit shall apply for processors, because today value addition happens at the doorstep of the food processors. Suppose he's kept stocks, and if the Essential Commodities Act comes into force, even his premises are raided and whole lot of explanation is asked for. Even for food processing industry it becomes a problem. So no stock limit shall apply to processors or value chain participants or subject to the installed capacity. If they keep a certain quantity, that should be all right. Beyond the capacity is a different issue. So any exporter also will be given that facility so that export demand is not affected. Farmers' prices can be not affected due to uncertainty created by this. So there will be an amendment to the Essential Commodities Act. The first of the 3 reforms.
कृषि क्षेत्र में प्रतिस्पर्धा बढ़ाने के लिए और निवेश बढ़ाने के लिए, ताकि किसान को और ज़्यादा दाम अच्छे मिल सकें, इसके लिए उस कानून में बदलाव लाया जा रहा है जो 1955 से है, इसेंशियल कमोडिटीज एक्ट, आवश्यक वस्तुओं के लिए जो बनाया गया था। कहने के लिए इसमें बदलाव होगा, लेकिन जैसे एमएसएमई की परिभाषा में बदलाव करके एक बहुत बड़ा बदलाव उस क्षेत्र में आया है, उसी तरह से इस बदलाव से किसानों की आय में बढ़ोतरी की बहुत सारी संभावनाएं बढ़ जाती हैं। जो कहीं ना कहीं उसको कम दाम पर बेचने के लिए एक तरह से रुकना पड़ता था, कई और इसके नुकसान भी होते थे। अब उसके लिए भी इसमें अवसर निकल कर आएंगे, जिससे आपके तिलहन की बात हो, दलहन की बात हो, प्याज हो, आलू हो, ऐसे या सीरियल्स की बात हम की जाए, इन सब में इनको अवनियमित किया जाएगा, डीरेगुलेट किया जाएगा, जिससे कि किसानों को लाभ मिल सके। और अगर 100% वृद्धि खुदरा दाम में होती है जो हॉर्टिकल्चर के प्रोड्यूस हैं, या 50% की वृद्धि होती है जो गैर नाशवान पदार्थ हैं, नॉन पेरिशेबल हैं, तो उस समय में कदम उठाए जा सकते हैं। ऐसे एक्सेप्शनल सर्कमस्टांसेस होते हैं तो उस समय में, और जो लोग फूड प्रोसेसिंग में हैं उनके लिए ऐसी कोई स्टॉक लिमिट ना हो जिससे कि उनके कामकाज में भी कोई प्रभाव ना पड़े और वैल्यू चेन में भी कोई उसका नुकसान ना हो, और निर्यात करने वालों को भी कहीं पर दिक्कत ना आए।
We move to the second.
लेकिन राष्ट्रीय आपदा और सूखा ऐसी कोई परिस्थितियां आती हैं तो उस समय में सरकार समय समय पर कदम उठा सकती है। Thank you.
Sorry. I move to the next, the second of the three reforms. This is related to farmers and farmers getting adequate choice to sell their produce at an attractive price. We shall bring a central law so that farmers will be able to have the choice to sell his produce at an attractive price. He has no barriers in interstate trade, so the interstate trade at the moment is restricted. It should be barrier free. We also want to make sure there is a framework for him to have his produce e-traded. He should be able to engage in e-trading of his produce. So a certain amount, at the moment you know that he sells his produce only to licensees, holders of license, and this restriction has been one of the reasons why he is not able to find a fair price. Whilst I'll just give you one comparison, no other producer of any other produce in the manufacturing sector, for instance, is compelled to have to sell to only a certain set of licensees. Why should only farmers be restricted in selling his produce to only some licensees and not be open to sell it to whoever he wants to sell? So we want to give farmers the choice so that he'll be able to sell his products at an attractive price, have no barriers in interstate movement, and make sure that he is able to e-trade. So a central law is being proposed.
जहां किसानों की आय दुगना करने के लिए मोदी जी की सरकार ने संकल्प लिया है, वहीं पर ये कदम उस दिशा में उठाए भी जा रहे हैं ताकि किसान या कृषि क्षेत्र एक अकेला ऐसा देखा जाता है जहां पर लाइसेंसी जो है उन्हीं को उनको सामान बेचना है, एपीएमसी के माध्यम से बेचना है, जिनके पास बाकी लाइसेंस है वहां तक सीमित रहना है, जबकि बाकी क्षेत्रों में ऐसा होता नहीं है। किसान को भी बेहतर दाम मिल पाए और अंतर्राज्यीय व्यापार भी इससे उनका हो आने वाले समय में, उसमें भी कोई दिक्कत ना आए, इसके लिए जो कानूनी